This video is about what I learned from Elaine Fox's book SWITCHCRAFT. Introduction. Accept uncertainty and thrive in a complex world. We are surrounded by ambiguity. We are constantly bombarded with options, only to be left wondering how things could have turned out differently. What if we had married someone else? Have you made a career change? Even simple day-to-day decisions can overwhelm us. The truth is that uncertainty is one of life's only certainties. If you're not careful, you can deal with uncertainty by making too many changes or sticking with something familiar, even if it's not the best solution. Introducing SWITCHCRAFT, the art of making the right decision at the right time. You will learn how to hone your SWITCHCRAFT by constructing and maintaining its 4 basic pillars in these videos. You can learn to thrive in this complex and rapidly changing world by developing mental agility, self-awareness, emotional control, and intuition. So, let's get this party started. Idea number 1. A flexible mind can assist you in changing, adapting, and thriving. Patty Lund is a model. Patty spent 10 years in Brisbane, Australia, establishing and running a large and highly successful dental practice. On paper, his life should have been perfect. He was wealthy and his business was thriving. Patty, on the other hand, was deeply unhappy. Patty thought about his situation. He realized that in the process of building his empire, he had lost sight of what he loved, dentistry itself. He got rid of 80% of his clients, stopped all advertising for his practice, and turned half of his building into a cafe to create a happiness-centered dental business. He now works half the time, has doubled his income, and spends more time with family and friends. Patty is content. Patty transformed his life by finding a creative and agile solution to his stressful situation. This skill, known as mental agility, is the first pillar of SWITCHCRAFT. Mental agility is defined as the ability to approach the complex world with flexibility. It all boils down to one simple decision. When faced with life's challenges, do you stick or do you switch? While it is often easier, and sometimes necessary, to stick with what is familiar, being able to easily change things up can help you thrive. This was demonstrated in a study of 3 cognitive biases in adolescents. Attention bias, whether they focus on pleasant or unpleasant things. Memory bias, which types of things they are more likely to remember. And interpretation bias, how they interpret ambiguous situations. The study discovered that biases toward focusing on and remembering threatening or negative words and situations, as well as negatively interpreting ambiguous situations, were closely linked in people who struggled with depression and anxiety. For example, recalling a traumatic memory is more likely to cause you to focus on and interpret negativity in your environment. Those who were happy and thriving, on the other hand, were able to think about negative things without experiencing all of the other negative biases. In other words, their thinking was more agile, leaving them in a more open and flexible frame of mind. What can you do to improve your mental agility? Pay attention to when you are annoyed or upset and see if you can come up with alternative ways to interpret these negative situations. Maybe you're bothered by a friend who is always late in getting back to you. You could interpret this as her unwillingness to see you, but there are always more positive explanations. Perhaps she is too busy, or believes you are. Your mental agility, or the ability to stick or switch depending on the situation, can be applied to a variety of situations. Knowing when and how to change can help you thrive and approach challenges with an open mind, whether you're raising children, managing a large project, or living in a long-term relationship. It is always possible to improve your life, just like Patty and his dental practice. Idea number 2. Know yourself so you can make the best decisions. A short maxim inscribed over 2,000 years ago on a column in the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. This simple piece of wisdom has appeared repeatedly throughout history, from Socrates' works to Samuel Taylor Coleridge's poems and Benjamin Franklin's words. Today, it can be summed up in 2 words: know yourself. The second pillar of switchcraft is the concept of self-awareness, being aware of your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and goals. It is directly related to the first pillar, mental agility, which was discussed in the previous idea. How can you adapt to a new situation if you don't know your own capabilities or values? Now is the time to ask yourself, who am I? Personality research is extensive, but the current consensus is that it should be viewed as a spectrum of 5 broad traits: conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, and openness to experience. While all of these are useful to know, the last one, openness to experience, is especially important when switching crafts. This trait relates to how diverse and complex your mental life and experiences are, and thus how open you are to trying new things or entertaining new ideas. Does this sound familiar? To be able to try new things, you must first recognize that your beliefs and opinions may be incorrect, and that changing your mind can be beneficial. This so-called intellectual humility can be fostered in a variety of ways. To begin, try to listen carefully when you hear something with which you disagree, without interrupting or mocking. Second, remember that your ability is not static and unchangeable. Change and improvement are always possible. Finally, rejoice in your failures. Use them as learning opportunities, and remember what you've learned. But knowing yourself is more than just your personality and intellectual humility. You must also consider what lies at the heart of your true self, your beliefs and values. Beliefs are your most profound understandings and perspectives on yourself, others, and the world. You can discover your core beliefs if you are honest with yourself and ask probing questions about what happened in a specific situation, how you felt, and the conclusions you reached. A thought journal can be useful. While values are related to beliefs, they are more of a fundamental moral code that guides you through life. It's useful to think of values as a path to take rather than a destination. What motivates you? What do you concentrate on? Consider key themes in your life, such as family, relationships, work, and spirituality, and determine where you stand. You can begin to truly know yourself once you have a firm grasp on your beliefs, values, and personality. When you act with the agility of switchcraft, you can be confident that your choices are the best for yourself. Idea number 3. Take charge of your emotions. Jennifer Guinness was abducted from her Dublin home in April 1986 by a group of armed men. The group mistook her for a relative of the wealthy Guinness Brewing Company, and they proceeded to demand a large ransom payment. Jennifer was imprisoned for 8 days. She suppressed her understandable fear and remained calm, closely observing her captors. She was cautious and polite around an older man who appeared to be quite intimidating. On the other hand, there was a younger man who appeared unsure. Jennifer took a calculated risk by becoming enraged at this man, yelling and demanding her freedom. She knew it wouldn't work on the menacing kidnapper, but she figured it would work on the softer one. Whether or not this emotional manipulation strategy was responsible for her release 8 days later, it certainly empowered her and helped her get through the stressful ordeal. And her quick and inventive response emphasizes the third pillar of switchcraft, emotional awareness. Jennifer was able to understand and control her own emotions while accurately interpreting the emotions of others when confronted with a difficult situation. Knowing your emotions can give you the agility to take a specific action to achieve the desired result. All emotions are significant. Yes, even the bad ones. When you are angry or scared, for example, your body is telling you that you need to focus on a specific issue and make a change. This is critical for adapting to a changing environment. Positive emotions, on the other hand, such as joy, hope, or pride, can leave you motivated and inventive, allowing you to thoroughly think through your decisions or switch tasks as needed. With this in mind, it is advantageous to be able to regulate your emotions in order to respond appropriately in a given situation. It is not always beneficial to feel strong emotions because they can lead to rash behavior. If this is necessary, there are several methods for controlling your emotions. One option is to simply alter the situation. If you are with people who are upsetting you, try to get away from them. If this isn't possible, try shifting your attention to something more positive. Instead of focusing on what went wrong with a failed project, consider what went right. You could also try to completely change your way of thinking. Consider seeing things from the perspective of an outsider, or consider the big picture. If none of these options work, you can modify your own response. For example, if you are constantly worried about work, try getting more sleep, reducing your caffeine intake, or increasing your physical activity. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to emotional regulation, so it is critical to pay attention to the situation and what you are feeling, and then act accordingly. You can maintain the emotional awareness required for SWITCHCRAFT with practice and patience. Idea number 4. Learn to trust your instincts. Elaine Fox was working as a chambermaid in a New York hotel during the summer of 1984. She made friends with a girl named Jenny there. Elaine ran into Jenny at the beach one afternoon, along with Jenny's new boyfriend. She realized right away that something was wrong. He was very attractive, charming, and friendly, but Elaine couldn't help but feel uneasy and cautious around him. The way his eyes lingered suggested a subtle hostility. He didn't do or say anything to make me feel threatened. It was just a feeling. A gut feeling that proved to be correct. A few weeks later, the boyfriend stormed into Elaine's apartment, demanding to know where Jenny was. He stormed out, punching a hole in the screen door and disappearing into the night. After a few days and several police interviews, it was discovered that the charming boyfriend had been on the run following a string of rapes in California. Elaine had trusted her gut and gone with her intuition despite all the external evidence that he was a good guy. This level of situational awareness is required for making the right decision at the right time, and it is thus the fourth and final pillar of SWITCHCRAFT. Intuition is the unspoken, almost imperceptible gist you get from a situation. That uneasy feeling that something isn't quite right or that something bad is about to happen, which you can't explain but know is true. While it may appear to be magic, intuition has been proven to be accurate and dependable. Your brain is constantly gathering as much information as possible and making predictions based on previous experiences. Even if your conscious mind isn't aware of it, this process allows you to make sound decisions in complex and rapidly changing situations. Context is essential for successful intuition. Your gut feelings will be more reliable if you are sensitive to what is going on around you. So, how can you improve your context sensitivity, and thus your intuition? A good place to begin is to expose yourself to as many different types of experiences as possible. In a new or complex situation, the more data you have to draw from, the more useful your response will be. It's helpful to understand what's considered normal in a given situation. People in a cafe, for example, might be expected to be sitting around, relaxing, and drinking coffee. So, if you notice that the customers are looking around nervously, you may need to take action. Here's a quick exercise to help you become more situationally aware. Put a coin in the upper left corner of your desk. Move it to a different corner tomorrow and every morning after that. While this may appear to be a simple exercise, it will gradually train you to be more aware of your surroundings. With time, you will begin to shift your focus to other aspects of the environment. This increased awareness of your surroundings will help you improve your switchcraft and make better, more agile decisions in this complicated world. Summary: using switchcraft as a tool to navigate the world's ups and downs can help you strengthen your ability to determine whether a situation requires a change in mindset, approach, or emotional response. Although switching from one task or thought to another can be difficult, learning switchcraft will improve your overall quality of life. Use the 4 pillars to help you achieve your goals and master switchcraft in your daily lives and interactions with others. Develop your mental agility by being ready to stick or switch depending on the situation. Encourage self-awareness so that you can be confident that you are making the best decision for yourself. Understand and control your emotions so that you can benefit from them. Finally, learn to be aware of your surroundings so that you can trust your instincts. Practical advice: begin incorporating switchcraft into your life right away. Switchcraft is an ongoing skill that must be honed over time. And the best time to begin is now. Keep a journal of your switchcraft journey, addressing the 4 pillars discussed in this video. Make notes on your decisions and your thought process in deciding whether to stick or switch. Investigate your personality, beliefs, values, and goals to discover your true self. Record your emotions in various situations and times of the day. You will notice yourself developing and growing over time, and before you know it, you will be acting with confidence and agility. Now, that was only a small portion of what Elaine Fox taught me in her book, Switchcraft. I highly recommend reading it for more insights. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends and followers. Your support helps me to grow my channel and reach a wider audience, and I am so grateful for it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay up to date on my latest videos. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to share more with you in the future.